All right, welcome back to 16 Flights Up. Today is a beautiful day. How are you doing today, Braden?
Good.
You
It's nice
okay?
out. Yep.
It is a beautiful day. Friend hit me up to go golfing. So that could have happened, but it's a little too hot, man.
Now it is. Earlier in the day, it was like
Yeah, this
a cool
morning.
breeze, and then it was nice out. Like the sun wasn't too hot.
Yeah, you had to go out there like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know about that early. That's pretty early.
Oh, wake up
5
at
in the
least
morning?
6.
Yeah.
Right, be out there by like 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went golfing with Madison's family in Georgia, and that was hot. That was hot. It was fun. Being drunk in the sun isn't.
That doesn't sound
It's
fun.
not fun.
Doesn't even sound
You
fun.
start getting sluggish. You want to go to sleep. Then it's no water. It's just straight beer. But it was nice though. It was fun. That was my first time actually on the green. I think I did pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hit like a 41-foot putt. All right,
It's
but
better than I could do.
my average like to hit the tee off was like 165, which is that's pretty decent.
I never played golf before, so I don't really.
I'm not gonna lie, it is addicting. Like
Yeah.
I always looked at golf like this is boring, like this is dumb. But like
Mm.
once you get into it,
Well, all the courses are super nice too.
yeah.
I bet you that's like the
Well,
big appeal.
so I'd never been on a course, so I didn't know what was nice and what wasn't.
Mhm.
I thought the course that we were on was pretty decent, but I was talking to her dad, and he was telling me that like that wasn't really a nice course.
Mhm.
It was like okay, but I mean, regardless, we still have fun. We had a lot of fun. Um, her uncle, her uncle broke a club. He wrapped a club around the flagpole.
Where did he get mad?
I guess he got mad and missed the shot. Wrapped the pole.
Jesus.
And then look, he didn't tell him. So he puts the club back in the bag, thinking they were just going to like.
Was it his club?
No, it was a rental. It was a rental. So he put it back in the bag. So the ladies was like, whoever came in before you, they were messed up this club. They need to come back and pay for it. So he went out to the car to go get him. He comes back in. He comes back in. So this is the funny part. He asked the lady. He says, "Well, since I'm paying for the club, can I keep it?" She was like, "Absolutely not." Because what she's gonna do is make him pay for it and send it back for the
They're gonna fix it.
insurance,
Yeah.
and
Get
they're
a
gonna
new
fix it
club and
anyway.
they get more money.
Yeah, they're gonna get more money anyway. So it
Yeah.
was kind of like I would have kept it, and I'm
Mm.
walking out with this.
He thought he was gonna get away with that?
I mean, it was a possibility. I mean, I broke a club, but it was on accident, right? Like
Mm.
I'm a lefty, so no one ever golfs left.
Mm.
So I guess the clubs must have sat too long, or
They just didn't have a lot of clubs for
they just didn't have a
left-handed
lot of
people.
usage, right? So like when I hit it off the tee, the ending of it snapped. And I was like, listen, I promise I didn't do anything weird. She was like, no, it looks like a factory malfunction.
Mm.
So a lot of the places, I guess they don't like make left-handed clubs very well, which is like, y'all need to start doing that. Come on. Don't discriminate against the lefties. Everyone isn't right-handed. All right. What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like, what are we like? What are we doing? Right, Lou? Right? You see him?
No,
No, not really.
not really.
All right, fat boy. Okay. So today is very, very interesting because it is July 6th, which is Sunday. And on the 4th of July, the big, beautiful bill, what they call the big, beautiful bill. First of all, that is a very childish name.
Really? I think that's a really cool name.
You think that's a
I think
cool
that's a cool
name?
name for a bill.
The big, beautiful bill.
Sounds like a Schoolhouse Rock like song.
So we need to label out the aspects of what's beautiful about this bill and who's it beautiful to.
It's a spending bill, isn't it?
It's a tax bill.
Oh, okay.
It's a tax bill. And Trump had a deadline, and he actually stuck to this deadline, which is pretty good. And his deadline was to have it passed and completely done. Well, not completely done, but to have it pretty much passed. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to do like renovations to the bill and change a few things that needs to be changed. But as of right now, the bill has passed. They have signed it. Both chambers have already done it. So basically, we're just going to cover some of the key elements. Like the bill is huge. The bill it cuts off a lot of different stuff, and I think the one thing that Trump does know is taxes.
Mm.
Like we can all admit that he is probably the tax king when it comes to understanding how to service it and how to use the bill. Because like most people don't understand taxes, bro.
Yeah, because it's always changing.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you live.
Yeah. And no one really understands what they can write off and what they can't write off. Like people say that, but unless you're going to like a financial advisor,
Like a
well,
CPA.
yeah, most people will take like 15, 20 minutes to do their taxes when it really should take you like 4 or 5 days in a sense, right? Like to really average out everything as far as your food spending, clothes spending, items you buy throughout the year.
I don't think people track that though.
No one tracks that.
Yeah.
It's hard. Unless you're like really a particular person and you keep every single receipt.
I have a friend that does that. Every single item that he buys, he has a receipt book. He scans them into his phone and he keeps the physicals in like a cabinet.
That has to be nerve-wracking.
I guess that's how he budgets.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart. It's a smart way to do it, especially if you want to make all your money back at the end of the year, which is extremely possible. You can definitely get your, it's just like the IRS know what they're doing. They're like, people aren't going to sit here and do all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I guarantee you, if every single American actually did their taxes the right way, the IRS would change a lot of shit. They'd be like, hold up.
Yeah.
Time out. Yeah, you guys, what are you doing? But so today we're going to talk about what are the key items in the Trump's budget bill, right? The big beautiful bill. Like, what are the main things that you might want to look out for? So, U.S. President Trump budget mega bill is set to become a law after it passed the final vote in the House of Representatives. The president is now poised to sign the bill into law during the ceremony on Friday, which was the 4th of July. And they did that. They had them all come to the White House and to sign the bill. Its advancements has not been easy. Legislation has stroked disputes among lawmakers that Trump's own Republican Party, who controls both chambers of Congress, over social programs and spending levels. That's probably one of the biggest things. How much the bill is going to be spending. And they said it's around 3.3 trillion to the federal. It's going to add 3.3 trillion to the federal deficit over the next 10 years. I guess that's not the worst.
It's a lot.
Over 10 years, though?
If it stays.
Yeah.
Is that something they can repeal?
I have no idea. I actually don't know that. I'm guessing it can't. I don't know. I think if a tax bill is signed, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But if a tax bill is signed into law, they have to wait
For it to pass.
for the 10 years to be up to rejudicate it, to like redo a new bill. And whoever's in office can either keep that bill or reform it. Right? Like, so I don't think so. Like, say a Democrat, the Democratic Party won after Trump's 4 years is up now, and they were in office. I don't think they'll be able to touch the tax bill until the 10 years is done. Because in recent times, Trump's tax bill, when he became president in 2016, right?
Yes.
I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
He passed a new tax bill during that time. And they had to vote on it now because it just came up to being passed due. So I don't think, because right, if Biden could change it, he would have changed it. But he didn't do anything with it. So I think it has to stay. So yeah, over the next 10 years, and leaves and it's projected to leave millions without healthcare coverage. A forecast that the White House disputes. They're saying, no. 13 to 17 million won't lose healthcare. But that's just not true. So what I mean, I think like what they're expecting, I think they're expecting the tariffs to pick up the loss of money that's going to happen with Medicaid. Now, I don't know how they are combining the two, because to me they're two completely different things. They're not even on the same avenue,
Yeah,
right?
that doesn't even sound
It
like
doesn't even
something you
make
could even
sense.
like try to balance because
Yeah.
they're not the same.
When the House Speaker, who's the House Speaker? I can't think of his
Currently,
name right now. But the House Speaker was talking about this, and he was basically saying like the amount of money that's going to make up as far as the tariffs is going to make up the loss of money in Medicaid, which doesn't even make sense because those are two different revenue services. Like they're two different completely thing. One is servicing the American people, and the other one is servicing the American people for goods.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, his smug face. He pisses me off sometimes. But yeah, he's actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. He's probably one of the most entertaining politicians to listen to because everything he says sounds so believable.
Mm.
It's kind of like, oh, it's all right, I got it.
It's a good politician then.
He is a good politician. He is like that's yeah. I think that's why he's in the position he's in. All right, so during the vote in the U.S. Senate earlier this week, Vice President J.D. Vance was forced to cast a tie-breaking vote in order to pass the bill. The legislation prospects of the House appeared precarious. However, the Republican rebelled eventually got on board to support its following hours of wrangling on Thursday. So basically, let's take a look at some of the key points. So one of the big key, well, I'll go through the list of the key points. So extension of the 2017 Trump tax cuts, steep cuts to Medicaid, Social Security cuts, increase in state and local taxes or deductions. Sorry. Cut for food benefits. That's going to be a big one. The food benefits. Boost in defense and border spending. That's going to be interesting to talk about because I got some things to say to these Mexicans about that.
The legal ones or the illegal ones?
All of them. That's it. I'm not discriminating. I'm not going to discriminate. you all get this work. I don't really feel no type of way about it because it's like we'll get there, but you'll see why I'm saying that. So no tax to overtime or tips and other elements, which is that's
no tax
also
in overtime.
no tax on overtime or tips and other elements, but that's a problem. That's a problem because we'll get to that. That's going to be a problem. Clean energy incentives reduction. So America is no longer going with the clean energy. We're pretty much done with that. The whole spout between Elon Musk and Trump is basically showing that. See that? All right, to get off topic, I think that's so weird because as president of the United States, you have a man that literally put you in office. I mean, let's be real. If it wasn't for the financial backing from Elon Musk for Donald Trump, he wouldn't be in office. I don't think he would have been in office.
I still think he would have had a pretty good chance.
I don't think so. I think that the financial he was giving him like how much was Elon giving him? It was like $100 million a month.
I don't know.
It was it was a huge amount. I don't know. I like they tell you like politics is one. I mean, you know what? You might be right because he was running against Kamala, and she just that was that last minute shakeup just wasn't good for the Democratic Party. I think that was sad. They like we said in previous pods, like they should have introduced her as running for president 2 years prior to Joe Biden's decline. You know what I mean? I think they waited too late. So like at this point, you guys just look like a bunch of liars. You know, so that didn't really help.
If they would have just kept her as the initial running
Yeah.
Candidate, I think probably would have been a little bit different.
Yeah, they would have been okay. All right. So let's get into first. I'm not going to go in order because there's some things I do want to talk about first because I don't want to miss them. All right. So the first one that we can talk about are let's see. The boost to defense and border spending. U.S. military will receive a budget increase of $150 billion under this bill. The money would be used to bolster the Army's forces, shipbuilding capacity, as well as fund Trump's Golden Dome and missile defense program.
So
Um,
if that's an additional 150 billion, I think that puts the annual budget over $1 trillion now.
yes,
Because I think it was like 800 and some $billion. So it sounds like it's going to be a little over $1 trillion now.
yes,
It's a lot of money.
that is a lot of money. It will also significantly increase the funding of immigration enforcement by allocating $100 billion immigration to custom enforcement to ICE. The agency central to Trump's administration efforts to crack down and see illegal immigrants, blah, 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 blah. Additional funding, which will run until 2029, will be used nearly to double migrant detention capacity in the U.S. and hire more enforcement personnel. Prior to the bill, the existing annual budget for ICE was about $8 billion. The funding boosts now make ICE the largest federal law enforcement agency, according to a nonprofit, the Brianne Center of Justice. So, okay, so I have a few things about this. I don't think this is necessary.
It was 100 billion to ICE.
No, it will. It would significantly increase the funding to immigration enforcement by allocating $100 billion. Before, the spending budget for ICE was only $8 billion.
Yeah, so they added an additional 100 billion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're adding, they're adding 92.
Oh, to make it an even 100 billion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before, because it was only eight
Yeah,
billion,
yeah.
which like that's like I don't think America has an immigration problem.
No?
I don't in like I'm trying to think of in what ways. Now, mind you, I'm a like I'll give you my under like I don't care either way about immigrants being in this country, right? But I don't think we've seen like a significant shakeup of immigrants being here. Like I think the main focus are a lot of people from Mexico, obviously, right? But like there's a lot of different immigrants from here all over the world. There's a lot of Australians here.
I don't think the idea of immigrants being here is the issue. It's the idea that immigrants that are coming here without going through the proper channels is the issue.
Okay.
Because like there are people that have been waiting years to get into the country, doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And then there's people that are just next to us on the border that just get to come over here and kind of just get in scot-free.
Right.
Which that would make me upset, especially if I'm going through the like paying the money to take my classes, to get my citizenship, to bring my family over from whatever country I want to come from, and then start a life here. Like that would bother me if somebody was just kind of like hopping the fence and then they got what they wanted.
Right. Okay.
So,
I can see that.
I don't particularly think that. I think immigration is good if it's done properly.
Yeah.
That's what I.
That's fair, right? To go through the proper channels to get into the United States to get a citizen, because you can't do that in any other country, right? Like you can't be there for too long without them kicking you out.
Yeah, like the other countries are like incredibly strict.
Yeah, they're extremely strict on that. So like I get that, but I think the emphasis that they're putting on it is kind of ridiculous.
Like they're saying, like they're a
they're
threat
criminals.
to society.
They're a threat to society.
Yeah.
They're bombing places. They're killing people. Like what? Like you guys must not know a lot of criminals because if you're doing illegal stuff, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, right? Like to whoever's listening, understand that I'm not a criminal, but I do understanding the workings of the underworld. Granted, right? It's a Jay-Z line. I hope he picks that up. But that's like you have to understand when people are doing illegal stuff, they try their best to do everything by the law. Right? The irony of it, right? Like, for example, if I'm a drug dealer and I have drugs in the car, chances are I'm not going to run a red light. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want you to take a picture of my car. I don't need to get pulled over. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to drive the speed limit. I'm going to stop at every red light. And I'm just giving an example, right? But the point of it is like most criminals are trying to be under the radar. They're not trying to be on the radar. Unless you're just like really a crazy person, which is like an extremely small percentage of a lot of the people who come over here. They're just crazy and they just don't care because they have nothing going for them. This is very, 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 very small percentage. So I don't see them as being a problem. Now, if you're allowing these people to come over here, I think that there should have been steps to tell, especially for a lot of the Mexicans that come over, they come over to work, right? Like a lot of them were working.
Mm.
They made up a lot of the workforce in some areas that most Americans wouldn't do. Like, for example, I'm not going out to a field to go work for $10 an hour in the sun.
Yeah.
With no water, or like I don't know what they give them for lunch or whatever, but I'm $10 an hour, bro, to be in the sun picking fruits and vegetables for 10 hours. I gotta wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Are you shitting me? I barely want to wake up to take my daughter to the bathroom. You think I want to wake up to pick fruits and vegetables? Like I'm like, listen. I sound extremely what's the word? Privileged. Rightfully so. I don't care. I don't care. I'm American. I have the right to sound. If you think this sounds arrogant or whatever, how you feel, I'm perfectly fine with that. I feel like African Americans have been through the shitter in this country, and I am proud to say that I'm privileged. Fuck you. I don't like. I don't care. It makes me feel no type of way. But do I understand the workings that some of those things need to be done? Absolutely. Right. So if these people can come into this country and work in these fields and be okay with it. Because what they're doing is taking the money that they're making here, which is a lot of money to them, and they're sending it back home, right? I don't know what the exchange rate between the dollar and the peso is, but I'm guessing when they come here, they do group economics. They stay in one family household. There's about 10 of them paying rent for about anywhere between $900 to $1,100 a month. There's probably 10 of them living in the house. They're not accessing the same stuff that we're getting. They're not going out buying TVs and buying rugs or decor for the house. They're buying a few mats and they're making sure they have water and food.
Mm. Strictly survival.
Strictly survival, to send money back to their old country and to go back home after they're done. I don't see a problem with that. Right? Like I don't think that if you're able to leave a impoverished area to make a few bucks and go back home, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, if they were coming over here, right, and they were starting like it was like bad.
I mean, did you see what was happening in California?
Which one? Are you talking about the riots?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were pissed off. But that happened in cause and effect of what's happening.
I mean, like burning the American flag probably isn't something that you should be doing if you want to stay
I mean,
in the country.
no, I think that's kind of crazy.
You know, destroying cop cars and putting the Mexican flag on top of it. I think that's kind of
But that was so again. See, this is messy because like there's so many different aspects of it and variables. It's like if I'm gonna try to give an example. I feel like there's only certain things that happen to specific groups of people at certain times. No one says anything to Italians for flying their flag and having strong ties to Italy and being American, Italian American, right?
Well, I don't think anybody has like an issue with that.
Right. But they have an issue with people who are from Palestine flying their flags here. They have an issue with people who are Mexicans flying it. They're like, oh, if you don't like America, then get out. And it's like, well, no, I mean, I get it. I think it's different for America because we are for years, right? Prior to this administration being in office, what was the motto of America? The land of the free, the dream, the American dream. We sent commercials out to other countries telling them, come on to America. Live the American dream. Try to prosper. Live a better life. So how come within 15 or 20 years you can say these things to people that live in other places? And then when they actually do it, you give them shit, right? That's like me looking my daughter in the face and saying, Oh, you can have some ice cream, but I put her on punishment after she eats it. It doesn't correlate. Like most people who come here, and I'm not saying it right. Like I think that people who are from America should be proud to be from this country, right? Like I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be from here, but this is the only flag that I have to fly. Like a lot of people are coming from different places and they were born there. You want them to completely erase, like you don't say that to Jewish people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like any flag. Like if I see someone flying a flag alongside an American flag, I don't ever get like upset about it.
Right.
But like whenever I see them
Burning it.
burning the American flag or putting their flag on top of the American flag, that's kind of a problem. Like you're supposed the American flag should be on the top no matter what flag it is. Whether you have like
That's fair. I mean, that's actually illegal if you don't do that. So
so, if
I agree
that
with that.
but like if you're burning it or if you're like stepping on it, that's probably like a little
Now, do you think prior to this administration, I didn't see any of that when Obama was in office? I didn't see any of that when Clinton was in office. I didn't see any of that when um, Bush was in office, and Bush was fucking, he was something.
mm,
But you didn't see, like, that didn't happen, right? Like, normally you only see people degrade the American flag when there is they have a problem with what's going on. And that's just out of anger, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's out of like, I hate America. I think it's more so like a message to the current administration saying, we don't like what's going on. We don't like you right now, right? Like, I don't think it's like, I hate America, because if they really hated it, I don't think they would be here.
I don't know about that. I
You
think
think?
America's pretty um pretty generous whenever it comes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I mean, going back to a country where you can't talk, you can't have your own opinion, or you'll be locked up forever. I think that's kind of a uh, sacrifice people are willing to make, especially if it's a country they don't particularly like.
Yeah.
But whether you're here through legal or illegal, you shouldn't be burning the flag that for the country
No,
that
at
you
all.
live
I
in.
mean, yeah, that is crazy.
I just
That
don't
is
think that's
wild.
something that people should be doing.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it's messy. But as far as them spending this much money to send people back, it's interesting because it goes into a whole bunch of different factors, right? It's so you're sending these people back. Who's going to work these fields?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be. I think they're going to give a lot of farmers machinery updates. I think it's going to be AI generated. They're going to like a lot of that's going to be controlled with AI. A lot of these farmers are going to potentially be able to make more money. A lot of the trade deals, as far as their food and what they can, they'll be able to produce more, especially if they have the machinery and the AI capabilities to work these fields rather than have people. I think that's the whole point, right? Like to the entire industry of bringing it back to America is going to be wrapped around AI. I think that's why they're fighting so hard. Every country is fighting to be at the top of the charts when it comes to AI.
Yeah,
It's going to be used for so much.
maybe the additional funding will make the process of becoming a legal immigrant more efficient.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't take years or months. Maybe it'll only take like a few weeks if you can go through the proper channels. So that way, if you get deported and you have a family here, you can get back a little bit faster than if you were to wait in line for, I guess, how it is now. I don't know if it's years or it's months, but I remember talking to somebody that they said they spent like 2 years trying to get immigrated before they
Right.
could actually get here. But if they could use that money and make the education more accessible to the people that don't have it, making the immigration process faster, then I think that was perfectly fine. Or, I don't know if like maybe getting a better way to deport them so that way they don't cause more
Well,
issues in the future. I don't know.
well, they had something not too long ago saying like if they just turned themselves in, the deportation would be a lot. Uh, it'd be a lot easier on them.
Well, of course, because they turn themselves in.
Hey, fuck that. I wouldn't do it. But on the opposite side, I don't care if they get deported. Like it doesn't bother me because
Mm.
this is what you motherfuckers voted for.
We also live on.
The Latino community was for Trump. I never forget the video I saw. They was dancing to their Mexican music. American flags flying, Trump hats.
Mm.
There was Mexicans going to town hall arguing with black people like, you shouldn't even be here. You don't appreciate being here. You're not on nothing but food stamps and you're poor and you're blah, blah, blah. The Latino community, we work. We work. You guys are lazy. You're lazy, vato. Now look at you. Your cousin's getting deported. I don't feel no type of way. I love my Latino community, but at the end of the day, this is one of those moments you fucked around and found out.
Well, if you're an immigrant and you're legal, you're not. You are an American.
Oh, you're fine.
You're an American. No,
You're
I mean,
fine.
like, doesn't matter what color you are. It's
Yeah,
like, you're an
no.
American. Yeah.
That's right. I 1000% agree with you. But I'm talking about the Latino community that are legal here in the United States. They're fine. They still voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Their cousins and their family members that came here are the ones getting deported.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for them.
How they voted in the first place, though, that's
they didn't
kind
vote.
of.
I don't think they voted. I don't think their families voted. I think the Latino people who are legally here able to vote, they voted.
I think people still got through that were not.
You think so? You think that still happens?
In California, you cannot show your ID to vote. They will not let you show your ID to vote. So you can go in and just vote for whoever you want. I don't know what it is for other states, but California is one of those states where they tell you not to show your ID when you go in to vote.
So how are they knowing who's an American citizen and who's not?
That's kind of the issue right now. That's kind of the issue, is because they wanted to make it as confidential as possible.
That sounds insane. I'm looking this up because that sounds crazy.
California was the state that was enforcing that.
Well, so let's see. Okay, it says in California, voters are generally not required to show identification to polls. However, identification may be requested by specific circumstances. For instance, first-time voters who registered by mail or online without providing a driver license number, California identification number, or the last four digits of the Social Security number may be asked for an ID when voting for federal election. Acceptable forms of identification in these cases include various documents such as a utility bill, a sample ballot booklet, government issued documents, passport, driver license, state ID, student ID, or photo. During a voter registration, individuals are asked to provide their driver's license number, California ID number, or the last four digits of the Social Security number for verification. If this information is provided during the registration, they cannot be verified. Identification will be requested before registration is finalized. Okay. So there are some type of rules. Now, I do know people do get fake Social Security numbers. That's like a huge business. So.
And that's if they ask you
Yeah.
for your information, which is like, whenever I went to go vote, they wanted to see my ID. They wanted to know, they wanted to see my registration card.
Right.
So, I do believe if you're going to vote, if you vote, they should know who you are when you vote, not just walk in and if you're going to ask them, maybe give me your ID. I think,
Well, this is fine. I don't have a problem with them rounding up immigrants and sending them back. But I think they should, if you're going to do it around the board. There's Australians here, there's Polish here, there's Italians, there's Europeans, there's French, there's Haitian, there's a lot of Nigerians, Africans, there's a lot of people here. There's Canadians here. There's Mexican here. If you're going to do it around the board. Don't specifically, because if you look at the media, it's all one group right now. It's mainly like Mexicans. I mean, I don't feel bad for them because you guys kind of made this bed to lie in it. It's like, I'm more thinking about who's going to do the work.
Well, I think like whenever you said you've seen on social media, do you think that's just the agenda right now? Is that only Mexicans are getting deported? Maybe there are Canadians getting deported.
Oh, I
Maybe
mean,
there are Australians getting deported.
I
You know,
looked at the numbers. No, there aren't other people from other places being deported. They moved on. I forget how many Mexicans they actually rounded up, but they rounded them up, and then they moved on to Haitians, and that was in New York. And the problem with the Haitians is they fought back. Like they actually, like the families came. I don't know if people understand the history of Haitians, but
mm,
they were probably one of the only countries that did not get colonized because they beat the dog shit out of the British and French. So,
mm.
but they did the same thing in New York. They were trying to get a lot of them out of here, and families came out in droves and fought them in the middle of the street. Like they fought officers that were like vested up and everything, fighting them, literally fighting them. It was. I've never seen. Like I was like, y'all. I mean, y'all gonna have a problem with them. That's gonna be. But like, just, do it to everyone. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to get everybody out to try to regulate being a documented United States citizen, right? Like, you need to do it to every single person because I don't think any other country would just specifically pick one type of people. They would pick everyone. I don't care where you're from. You guys can't stay here that long, right? Like, if you're from somewhere else and you come into the country, they're kicking you out regardless if you're white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian. I think when they specify a specific field is where the irritation comes from, right? If they were doing this across the board, I don't think people would be up in an uprising. I mean, you're always going to have an uprising against certain administrations, but I don't think it would be this bad because it seems like you're picking on
A specific race or
yes,
group of people.
right, and it just seems very weird. But I mean, again, I don't feel no type of other way about it. I'm more concerned about who's going to work these fields and what's going to happen to the agriculture. What's going to happen to when food product going to grocery stores throughout the United States supply drop and supply and demand goes up because they're not producing enough food that they annually produce and it
Mm.
drops down in rate. And instead of strawberries being $3 for $6 a cart for an ounce or for a pound of strawberries, it's normally about $3.99. Right? I think at Johnny you can get strawberries, and this is just a prime example. You can get strawberries for $6 for 2 pounds. What happens when the the strawberry is a shortage, and that $3.99 jumps up to $7? I don't want to pay $7 for a pound of strawberries. It's crazy. That's an entire meal at Wendy's. Like I want to like why would I want to, you know what I mean? My grocery bill. And that's just being, and the media pisses me off when they talk about eggs. Oh, eggs price. Fuck eggs, bro. Talk about all the groceries. Don't just talk about egg. This is how I know like those rich people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Because how can you politicians sit here and talk about eggs when let's talk about all the food, right? Group it all together. We're talking about all the produce, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the cucumbers. We're talking about onions, peanuts. Nuts alone are fucking expensive.
They are, yeah.
We're not even talking about any of the processed food. Let's talk about the steaks. Where the fuck is the cattle coming from? Majority of the cattle that we eat in the United States come from fucking Mexico. What, I don't know. Like I'm a little bothered because talk about the overall food of how much people are spending on groceries. I literally just had a debate with a few of my friends in a group chat, and we were talking about how much we spend on groceries. And I said an average between 1,100 to 1,200 a month. My friends called me crazy because they said that's too much. And I'm thinking in my head, like, well, what the fuck are you guys eating that you're spending $600 a month with 3 people in the house?
Mm.
They're like, oh, you eat fancy. No, yeah, I'm eating regular food, bro. I'm eating regular. I promise you, I'm eating regular food. That's what's left? Really? Wow. Okay. So we're going to do part two. There's going to be 2 parts to this today because I kind of went a little crazy on the Mexicans. Didn't really mean to. Went a little loco. I don't know if is that politically? You know what? Fuck it. I don't care.
You're just speaking Spanish.
Yeah,
You're
we're
not
not
making.
going. We're not doing politically correct. Okay, so another one, cuts to food benefits. That's going to be insane. Reforms have also been added to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, which is used by over 40 million low income Americans. The Senate bill requires states to contribute more to the program, which is currently fully funded by the federal government. The government will continue to fully fund the benefits for the states that have the error payment rate below 6%, but states with higher error rates would be on the hook for anywhere between 5 to 15% of the program's cost. The change will start in 2028. The Senate bill would also add work requirements for able body SNAPs enrollees who do not have dependents. Listen to that shit. This is what Braden, before we started this podcast, this is the conversation that we had. Let's talk numbers for a second. 400 million Americans. We're going to say 400 million Americans in the United States. Probably like what, 370 million?
That sounds about right.
Okay, about 370, 400 million. Everyone has a stereotype that Black people make up all of the SNAP benefits, the Medicaid, the welfare. That's just not. It's not even possible, right? It's not like number wise. It's not possible. If we listen to how it sounds, if we made up the majority of all of that, we would run the country. There's there's no way. You'll be overwhelmed. There would be too many of us running around everywhere.
Oh, you're saying like general
And
population?
general population, there'd be too many everywhere. If we made up the majority of people that were on welfare benefits, we will be everywhere. We will be in the suburbs. We will be in the hood. We will be in the city. We'll be in farm in the country. We'll be in rural areas. We're just not. That's just not a thing. Now, we do make up the majority of focus in a lot of main cities, but like we only make up 13% of the population. Anywhere between 6 to 7% of that is in prison. So the rest of them out here are mothers with children that's on welfare, and it's just not enough. Now, the question is who's on the welfare, right? And this isn't a race thing. This is just a numbers thing, because we're going to talk about specific areas that's going to be impacted by this and what is going to impact. So we're talking about rural areas. The rural areas are going to be the areas that get impacted by this the most. So your places like Wisconsin, your places like Montana, Colorado, a lot of your farm areas, a lot of the farming areas are going to be the ones affected because there aren't major paying corporate jobs in this area, right? There's not big business out there. So you have a lot of people who live in these rural areas that grew up on farms, that grow up on low income area, low budget areas due to the population not being where it needs to be. And it's just like there's just not a lot of money out there, right? It's just not the same. Like I think a lot of the biggest areas that produce most of the money, which is surprising, are blue states when it comes to income for the GDP spending for each state. Which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's probably a conversation for another time. But they make up most of the money that's being spent and the money that's being circulated within revenue, right? Some of the best, lowest cost of state living, about how much money they spent, are red states. They just don't pull in enough money. So a lot of those other states, like your South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, what else? Montana, Nebraska. What am I missing? There's a lot of rural states. I can't think of all of them, but like all those openly states, those are going to be a lot of the people that's going to be affected by it because they do rely on government assistance to make up loss of income due to not making a certain amount of money, right? Like, for example, in our head, Braden, like in my head, the concept of how much I need to make is different from the concept of what people think they should be making. Right? Like, I think I need to make anywhere between 40 to 45 40 to $45 an hour
Mhm,
to be comfortable.
mhm.
People, oh, that's a lot of money. And it's like, is it? I know people that get paid 60 an hour. Rural areas still get paid what? Anywhere between,
I would say, well, like, what rural area?
let's say Wisconsin. They're probably getting paid the minimum
Like
wage, which
12 an
is
hour.
12 an
It's probably
hour.
something like that.
That's insane.
Our minimum wage is still like
Yeah,
$7,
I know,
$8, something like
which
that.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, how do you live on that? Right? Over the past 50 years, the cost of living shot up almost 400%. Where wages didn't even increase by 30. Like, how do you live on $7 to $12 an hour, $15 an hour? Like, I do wonder how some people are surviving. And I think it's because of some of the benefits that the United States government makes up for, which I think is fair. If you're going to if you're going to give tax cuts to businesses and they don't want to pay people the actual wage that they should be paying, I do think it's the government's fault and they need to make up for that because you're giving big business cuts. And these CEOs aren't giving the money back to the people who's working for the company. They're taking it and they're paying themselves for it.
Mm.
So it's like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be hiring more people and giving people raises. That's why you got the tax cut. But they're lining their pockets though, right? So I think that's going to be a huge problem for a lot of rural areas. Like, I don't like, I mean, obviously it's going to affect a lot of African Americans. A lot of African Americans are on benefits. Let's not get that misconstrued. A huge portion of them are on benefits, right? But not everyone who makes up that amount of money that is being sent are African American. It's just not mathematically possible at all. So that's going to be a huge thing. That's going to be a huge thing, and I don't think a lot of people are going to realize it. I actually saw a post on Thread, which is, it's not funny. This isn't funny, but I did chuckle. But it's not funny. This is completely insensitive. This is fucked up. But the lady, she got online and she made a post and said, "Oh, I voted for MAGA and I didn't realize that my benefits for Medicaid was going to be cut." And she said, I have, what did she say? She said something like she has some type of cancer and the Medicaid was covering her cancer cost. And she was getting specific medication for what she was going through.
Mm.
And she is like, I was under the impression that we were going to get more money and this, and the third. And they cut my Medicaid off not too long ago and I need help. The comments were vicious. The comments. The internet is a vicious place. But like, again, that's a prime example of people voting against their interest, right? I don't think people I think it's a fad now that people are into politics. I don't think a lot of people understand exactly what's happening. Like, the government can say, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and you actually go and read the bill and it's the complete opposite. And what they're doing is only covering a small portion of what they're saying.
Mm.
So, I mean, I think that's a huge thing. When you start cutting food from people, I think violence is going to, I think it's going to go up. I think crime is going to go up. And it's actually been pretty, I mean, no lie, it's actually been pretty decent. And yeah, yeah. So that's that. Increasing the state and local tax deductions. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I guess we'll see with that. It says the bill will increase the deduction for limit for states and local taxes. There's a current $10,000 cap to how much taxpayers can deduct from the amount that they owe from federal taxes that expires this year. The Senate approved the bill raises it from 10,000 to 40,000, but after 5 years, it would return to 10,000. Salt taxes were a big sticking point in the House, especially Republican holdouts in some Democratic-controlled urban areas. The House version of the spending bill did not include a 5-year limit, so the Senate changes could pose a problem for some House Republicans. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't. I don't know. I never understood the deductions and redeductions.
Neither have I. It's not really something that
Yeah, I'm not even.
never
I'm
thought
not gonna
about.
pretend like I. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't know if. I don't know if that's going to be a major thing. Because what does that mean? The Senate approves bill, raises it from 10,000 to 40,000. So I'll be able to claim. Am I getting taxed more? Does that mean I'm getting taxed more, or I'll be able to claim more at the end of the year?
Sounds like they're just raising the cap on what you're able to claim.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's going to work. It sounds like it's going to be very, very good for small businesses, which is a plus. That's a huge plus. That's a huge win for small businesses if that is the case.
Maybe that's what offsets tariffs
Maybe
because you can just write off the tariff as an
as
expense.
an expense, pay it throughout the year. I mean, that would be brilliant, right? That's the only. I mean, that's great. If that is the case, I'm gonna have to look into that because that would actually be pretty dope. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in part 2, but that would be good. That would be good for a lot of small businesses if that is the case. I'm actually going to look into that. Um, but all right, this is it for part 1. Check out part 2. We'll be coming to you soon. Uh, yeah, this is some cold stuff, man. I just hope everyone is just diligently looking at what this bill can do. Also, do not forget to vote for your local administration and your parties, man, because like what you want to do is you want to keep your area pretty much the same. You don't want the federal government changing a lot in your areas, and you're not being aware of this, right? Like you can get messed up with this being sprung, and that's another thing. I didn't even bring this up, but the cuts to food benefits is also benefits to housing. Vouchers, people who have vouchers for paying a certain amount of money a year, you need to be careful. I know someone personally who just got kicked off one of their vouchers and they were forced to move at the end of the month. No warning, no surprise. They were just given a letter and said, you need to move. So these are things you need to be aware of. Pay attention to it, and we will cover more in part 2. 16 flights up, baby.